So welcome again to another episode of Watercolor Instructions with Sunil Kalbandi. So I'm going to do another cityscape. So I switch between cityscapes and a little bit of landscape. Recently I've been doing a couple of waterscapes, but cityscapes are my go-to default subjects. So first thing first, I've been painting a little bit of green. So I've got a couple of paintings which I'm going to upload it to YouTube. I did a lily painting yesterday night, and then also another painting. I'm not sure, I don't have a plan when I'm going to schedule, but it's something, it will come over on YouTube. So as always, full videos, no editing. I talk through my mind, I go through what's going on, and then I paint as I'm talking. So first thing first is let me just clean up a little bit of, there's too much green. I just need a little more space for some blues. I know, it looks like it's a waste of pigment, but what I've understood is there's a lot of wastage, a little bit of waste when you're doing it, and you can't be shy about too careful about pigments, or else you'll never finish a good painting. You want to load enough pigment in the brush. Okay, so for all the materials I've used, check the description. I've listed everything I used from Amazon. And then also, if you haven't subscribe, and then I'm also on Patreon if you fancy buying me a cup of coffee. So I don't know where this place is. This is somewhere near Jerez in Spain. So there's a small cathedral. So that's my horizon. There's a cathedral. There's some features I'm going to add. You can see the bell. So that's my shadow. So especially in watercolor painting, what you're trying to do is capture the light source. So a few chimneys, and I'll improvise as and when. And there's okay. So gonna put in it's clearly European. If you see huge umbrellas, well, I say that, but it's a good indication that it's European. And somewhere on that line, that height, I'm going to add more people. So few people in the dark. So there's a few people sitting. I'll improvise as and when it goes. And a little bit of doors. I think that's my scene. We'll go from there. So I'll pick up a mop. There's a bowl of clean water, and I'm picking up a little bit of cerulean blue. So I didn't mean to paint on that. I just want to paint inside. Firstly, okay, so a little bit of burnt sienna. That would be my primary color. Burnt sienna, a little bit of yellow ochre. A little lighter. I'm gonna quickly test it. That's a little dark for me. I'm gonna add a little more water. That's a bit of a monochromatic. A little more yellow ochre on the cathedral. So I'm going to pay a little attention to not leave few whites between the people. I don't know whether my hand is blocking. Make sure the painting is still wet, and the umbrella, leave the whites where the umbrellas are. So I'm just leaving the whites. little bit of gray. So while that one is drying, I'm going to just add in a little bit of texture. Either on the back of your hand, so that creates a lovely texture. Okay, so that's my first coat. While it's drying, I'm going to just introduce ultramarine red to the rooftops. So a little bit of shadow on the side. Okay. I'm going to just soak up before it drips, which is it already wants to, and continue adding a little bit of shadows. A little darker. Okay, and continuing, so this side is a little darker because it's in the shadow. Also a little bit of shadow this side. Slowly adding more and more shadows. So over here, a little more Algerian red. So a lot more shadows. So I'm slowly connecting the shadows. It's important that the shadows connect and then it has a story. Just add a little more red. Chimney and whatnot. Slowly working towards the shadow. So continuing with that shadow, straight line. So that particular strip needs to be a little darker. Yellow ochre. That is a bit too dark. Just have to clean the brush, don't panic, and keep coming. Add a little more pigment. So adding a little more red. I'm going to add a little more blue tone. Soft, cooler colors. The painting looks too warm. A little more warmer color. When I say warm, it's red. When I say cool colors, it's shade of blue. So remember, yellows and reds are warm colors. That's what I want to do there. Okay, while that one dries, I'm gonna add a big shadow here. So lots of grays, dark, and a little bit of Algerian red. So I'm gonna just check that one is okay. So no need to that's a shadow. We made a demarcation. That's a shadow, and this is where most of our elements stay. So I'm going to add okay. So it's looking all right. So at the moment, I need to start adding some details to the design itself. So I'm picking up a slightly smaller brush. They're slightly dry. I'm going to introduce a little more red to the rooftop. Gray for the shadows. So So check the color. That's okay. A little lighter. Okay, so just add some details. There's some statue going on. So slowly adding layer. Shadow and the shadow inside. And I'm just picking up a little bit of green patina to add to the bell. Continuing, so okay. Okay, so completely dry brush, pick up a little bit of pigment, make sure it's as dry as possible, and I'm going to add a few more dry strokes. Okay, so this one needs a roof. Okay, so I'm slowly working my way towards so a little bit of dry brush. And similar. It's coming on fine. Now a few more details to this house. Again, I'm using the side of the brush just to add some details. Okay, and also so okay, so a few more antennas. Always try to make it realistic in terms of cables, wires, pipes, and whatnot, just to get that feel. So I'm putting in a pipe, some reflection, and not to forget, a couple of cables. So I'm using a really thin rigger, and I'm going to go whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay. It's barely in the background, but that makes it interesting. I think I'm going to just make that one a little darker. Yeah. So the last but not least, a couple more windows. Always dry brush. So you want to dry to get that rough texture. And a little bit of balcony. Always a little bit of design. Just to add a little more shadow. I think I'm going to just add a little bit of shadow for this particular window. And that's it. Okay, the background is done. Now let's focus on, I say that, but we need a little more shadow on the roof itself. So some shadow of that sort. And okay, something like that. Okay. Now, the skin tone. Yellow ochre, Algerian red gives a nice Spanish tone. So always check. It's slightly darker, but that's alright. So you can always mix and match just these two colors. You can get most of the skin tone of that particular skin tone. Okay, I'm gonna just mix and match whatever colors I have. So at this stage, I have a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of blue, we'll leave a couple of people white. I'm not sure why, for some reason I've left that area to be. I've forgotten to color that area, so I'm going to just come in, color that. Okay. Okay. So we're just adding colors. I got a blue man. So slowly, just adding more details. I'm going to switch to a synthetic brush at this stage. It's easy to put some dry brush strokes. Okay, not to mention, we need a little bit of shadow for the people. Not everybody, just few. Vanishing into there. I think that is a-okay. Oh, the awning. We need a little bit of work on that one. We want to add a little bit of shadow. That is swell. Okay. I think I will call it quits on this one. Only thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of highlights on people. So I use the smallest brush, add some highlights. So pigment straight from the tube. I'm going to add a little bit of highlights. So some and also a little bit of highlights. So a few highlights here and there. Also, I'm going to just add a couple of birds just because. So just a R. That one is a fat one. So I'm going to just make it slightly smaller birds. Small R, that one's too light. We'll come in. Okay. A couple of them little darker. There you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to just quickly dry it. Let me reveal this painting. It's always my best part of the painting is peeling off the tape. I put everything into context. Okay, let me just check if it's in the frame. Yep, so it's a cityscape with, I missed a couple of it's a cityscape somewhere in the Spain, terracotta buildings, bright blue sky, birds, cities, cafes. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Until next color, Till next time, watercoloring, keep watercoloring, and bye.